Hi guys, welcome back. Today I'm going to be sharing with you my debt-free journey. And if my story can help even one person, I would be so happy because I wished I had this information sooner. My story really begins when I turned 18. So here I am, 18, right out of high school. I think I'm grown up. But when you're 18, you really don't have a sense of how the world works. And I mean, I still don't understand how some financial aspects of the world work, but I am learning as I grow. So here I am, 18, and I decide I'm ready for a credit card. So I applied, and I still remember what it was. It was a Sears MasterCard. I think I went to make a purchase, and the cashier, she asked me, "Do you want to apply for a credit card?" And I said, "Okay." And she's like, "You're gonna get points, every time you shop here, and you're gonna get rewards." So then I said, "Okay, sure." I applied. So I did really good with that credit card for a while. I would spend, I would pay my debt off. I wasn't getting any interest. I wasn't getting any late payments or anything like that. So come turn when I was 27 is when I started having problems with my debt. I had accumulated a couple of credit cards by this time. I believe I had like 18 credit cards. Some were from Target, Macy's, department stores. Others were from banks like Chase, Wells Fargo, and my debt really skyrocketed. I really don't even know how I got into so much debt, and I couldn't keep track of my payments. It was literally like 18 credit cards, and I had to make a minimum payment for every card, at least, and I couldn't even do that. So this was a very stressful time in my life where I was scrounging up money from anywhere that I could, trying to pay off, at least the minimum payment so I wouldn't get a late fee or a penalty added to my account. And when you're in this much debt and you don't have enough funds, it is frustrating, it is stressful, it is very difficult for a person to deal with something like that. So I did what anybody nowadays does. I went online and searching the internet for information on how to get out of debt, how to pay it off, or what I could do, because I really needed financial advice. I needed help because I couldn't do it on my own. And I realized that I needed to find a way to fix this. I was putting band-aids on my problems by trying to get other credit cards and other credit cards, kind of doing balance transfers and balance transfers. But that was only a short amount of time to fix a larger problem. So while I was searching the internet, lots of information comes up. But one that really stood out to me was Dave Ramsey. And if you're familiar with debt and people who are like financial people, Dave Ramsey. And the thing that was so amazing when I found Dave Ramsey was, first of all, that he kind of explains things to you in a simple way. He has a way to explain things where you're like, it clicks in your head, you understand it. And what I like from, he calls them baby steps. What I like from his program is that sorry guys, my camera cut off, but I was talking about two things that I like from his program. So one is the emergency fund. An emergency fund is just that, $1,000 that you should have in a savings account or cash if possible, for an emergency. Say something happens to your house and you need some repairs. Let's say your water heater goes out and you need to purchase a water heater. Those $1,000 are going to help you from getting into other debt. So if you have those $1,000, You don't have to use a credit card. You can use that emergency fund. So I did that at the beginning. Then the next step that I follow from him is the snowball. The snowball. So this comes into play when you're trying to pay off your debt. So let's say I have many credit cards. Let's say 500, let's say 800, 600, 400, 3,400, 5,000, 800, and 10,000. And in all of these cards, I was paying like 200, 300, like that. No, what he explains is make the minimum payment on all your cards, and only the smallest amount will get a large sum payment. So like that, you can cancel your debt faster until you get to your highest one. So in that scenario, your debt is going to get smaller and smaller. Another person that I really learned a lot from was the budget mom. The budget mom, you know, she's a mom, she's on YouTube, and she really inspired me and motivated me with her story. And she uses other concepts in her budgeting that I apply to my budgeting. So that's why I say budgeting is very personal to you in your life, at the moment what you're living. So she's the one who taught me about cash only spending, and that's where I learned about the cash envelopes. She also talks about, you know, actually writing out your budget, because sometimes we think we know what we spend, we know what our bills are, but in reality, do we know what it is? We need to have it physically written down so we can mentally process, you know, because you're like, yeah, I have debt, but do you know exactly to the penny how much debt do you have? Not until you write it down. Not until you write it down. So this concept of only using cash for all your purchases was like mind-boggling to me. Like even back then when I was still in debt, like I would always use my debit card. And there I was getting insufficient funds fees. That's like $35. So I started practicing cash only spending. And as you guys have seen from my previous videos, I only use cash for all of my transactions. If I am going to buy something online, yes, I use my debit card, but I make sure I have those funds available in my account when I'm going to make that purchase. And those are very important things that you need to practice when you're going to stop wasting your money. Because I decided I was going to stop spending money that I didn't have. Because when you have a credit card, you're spending money that you don't have. You're saying, I'm going to buy this now and I'm going to pay for it later, no matter what the consequences are. And that was my mindset. In this world right now, we live in a consumer world. We are bombarded by consumerism. Purchase this, buy this. You don't have it, don't worry. You don't have the cash, don't worry. You can use your credit card. Pay it next month, pay it in a year. But then all of that catches up to us. And here we are in our late 30s with so much debt that we can't pay off. So I do not use credit cards. No credit cards for me. And I can finally say, you guys, even though I'm not completely debt free, I still have maybe, I want to be done and debt free in 2021, at the end of 2021, because I still have like a couple $1,000s that I need to pay off, but I see the light at the end of the tunnel. And my next chapter for me would be savings. I want to save for retirement. I want to be able to fund a vacation if I decide that I want to go. I don't want to have to rely on a credit card. And it feels so good, guys. Honestly, it feels so good to know that the cash you're spending is yours. And that you don't have to worry about next month I'm going to pay for it. To have savings and not a credit card is just the best feeling in the world. And that's what it means to be financially stable, guys. To have control of your money. I thank you guys for being here. I hope you enjoyed my video. Give me a thumbs up, a like. subscribe. Thank you.